correct, Alexis. It looks good. It's all good. Okay. The book we'll be using is, if you haven't not picked it up yet, is The Essential Guide to Game Audio: The Theory and Practice for Games by Steve Horowitz and Scott Looney. You can get a physical copy if you are on campus. It should be in the bookstore, but you can also get a digital version as well. It may even be in the Commons, in the library, Gordon Library, as a digital copy. You may be able to use the digital copy there. I don't know if it's just like one person using it so then no one else can use it. I'm not sure how they have the license for that, but it does exist in Gordon Library. Part of the lecture that I have is from some previous texts that I used and I still refer to as, if you happen to have more than an interest outside of Game Audio 1 in Game Audio, you might want to check out Aaron Marks and Jeannie Novak's book called Game Development Essentials. And then Joseph Cancelaro has one about sound design for interactive media, which is more some game work, but it's also a lot about what is sound, how does it work, kind of the physics of sound, and some interesting stuff there that I've incorporated into my lecture as well. All right. I'm guessing that everybody's got their headphones will work just fine. So long as you can share your audio with me through your laptop or computer, we should be fine. In terms of like speaking with me, if you have a microphone on your laptop, that should be more than fine. But I think most people probably have a headset. If you have any questions at all, you can ask me, is this the right pair of headphones? Is this a good headset? I need a headset. What should I get? And I can help you out with that. Okay. Some sort of drive. It can be your laptop, but you might want to just offload your stuff onto Dropbox or Media Drive just to have a backup copy of it somewhere. When we've been in class, we've always had, somebody having an external drive, even a thumb drive or something. You could have your audio on, some sort of backup, right? But if you got Dropbox or something similar, Google Drive, then you're good to go. So let me talk a bit about the course structure. Okay, it's a little bit different because we're online, and I'll get to the details in just a moment. But normally, what I would do is I would have a lecture, and I would then have a lab exercise after that. But I'm going to change that around a little bit. And again, I'll talk about this in a moment. But in terms of attendance, I know we've all got our own unique situations, and I'm usually, pretty strict about just making sure everybody's here and learning the material, and I would take points off if you're absent and things like that. But if you know you're going to be away, or if you have an emergency or something, just let me know, and I will recognize that. But if someone's just not showing up, then I have to take points off if you're not showing up for the exercises that we do. Okay, I'm going to be offloading some of the lecture after, I think, Wednesday, and again, I'll bring that up in just a moment. If you have any sort of accommodations that I haven't addressed yet, and you had any confirmation note from the Office of Disability Services, just let me know today, and we'll get that straightened out. Okay. I did revise the syllabus, so the course calendar is different. It's updated. I had somehow inadvertently put in last year's schedule, which was like an 8-week kind of thing. It was like half of week 1 and half of week 8. But this is a perfect block this year. So it's like weeks 1 through 7, Monday through Friday, which is like really rare for us. Always been kind of like haphazard, different middle of the week kind of thing, but it's a straight block. So I've got on the syllabus, if you check it out today, it's been updated, and weeks 1 through 7 are there. I'm going to do my best to stick to the scheduled times in terms of the assignments that we have, but things happen. We may drift a little bit one way or the other, but again, I'll do my best to make sure the exercises are where they're supposed to be, the lab assignments and so forth, and the lecture material that we'll be covering. So who am I? I have been in the video game industry now. This is my 25th year. I'm still very active in the industry, and anything I learn, I try to bring back to the students. It's always just like, it's just fun, right? It's just like super challenging, super fun. And I love the work that comes in, and the ability to be able to bring it back into the IMGD classes is great. So I worked several years for a company called Outact on different apps. Brave Order was a game I recently worked on. Wartide, these are like these hero collection type games, real-time strategy games. I spent many years working with Sega and Demiurge on Marvel Puzzle Quest, which is still going. It's been a pretty wild ride. We're doing all the sound effects for the superheroes and villains in the game, and all kinds of cool, match 3 sound effects, supporting music, and all this. I also do a lot of children's educational work, augmented reality apps like this one for Hot Wheels, where you have a tablet and you are looking at your car as you send it down a track, and it has superpowers and all kinds of fun things. Anyway, you can look at this later. I work on a lot of projects. As I said, I'm very active in the industry. And let's see. I used to work for a company called Tilted Mill on city builder games. We all left a company called Sierra, which is now part of Activision Blizzard, or just Activision, on titles that, showing my age here, you can go to Good Old Games, GOG.com, and probably find these, and maybe even on Steam, but they're considered, classics, which makes me cringe a little bit, because it's been that long, really. I can't believe it. But these are the types of games I worked on. A lot of city builders, some real-time strategy games. But again, I'm still in the industry, and hope that I can give you as much information about any relevant material that I have available. If I don't know the answer to something, I'll find it for you. Okay, I'll do my best to work it out with you. I do a little bit of TV work, but that's probably like 5% of what I do. But I do other stuff outside of games as well. Okay, so after this course, you're going to have some basic, the strong skills is basic, but you'll have some pretty strong skills in understanding analog and digital audio concepts. You'll definitely be able to kind of zoom into a soundscape of a game and identify all the components, and you'll probably end up, annoying your friends, because you'll say, "Oh, listen to that UI sound there. Clearly, it's coming out of the 10 kilohertz peak there at 2 decibels," and it might give you the stare, But you'll understand a lot more about how sounds behave in the game, and some of the technical aspects of it as well. There's something called you've probably heard of an art pipeline. There's also an audio pipeline, a game audio pipeline. And this is about kind of a production cycle planning and production, and any sort of placement within, whether it's like version control software or, actual placement on a map in the game. So placement's kind of used broadly there, but you'll know a lot more about the process and how we get from pre-production to the final stages of audio assets. And excuse me one second. That's better. Digital audio editing and mixing is what we're going to be doing a lot of in this class, for sound effects, for music, and for dialogue production, post-production, I should say. We're going to start really, really slow and simple. I'm going to introduce you to a software tool, a digital audio workstation called Reaper. And you may have seen Alexis's tutorial about installing it and getting it up to speed on your computer, your desktop, or laptop. And we'll go over this again in detail. And I'm going to just kind of step you up gradually, because it's kind of cumulative work that we're going to be doing. And eventually, you'll be kind of in a zone that you feel very comfortable just launching the program, just getting right into a project, stacking up different tracks and using effects and things like EQ and compression and delays and reverbs and all this. I'll also talk about kind of game audio within the industry. It's like a survey, how the audio department functions within a game company, or how a contractor works. There's a lot of the work now is outsourced, and I'll explain that role as well, because there are people who are interested in pursuing that, and I'm always happy to talk about that process, which is an ever evolving kind of thing. And with that, you'll understand the various roles within game audio. And most importantly, once we have all this material together, we're going to learn how to integrate these sounds, the soundscape itself, into animations, cinematics, and I'll talk about audio engines here as well, which is also known as middleware, where we can control the behaviors of objects and the different ways that they interact with the world inside the game, with a programmer on one end and the creatives on the other end, and this middleware in the middle that's kind of the objects and, again, the behaviors and controls that we use to facilitate the audio playing in the 3D or 2D world. So this is what I was going to talk about with the schedule. Teaching this course is presenting new challenges, right? So one of the biggest challenges is really making sure that Alexis and I can work with all of you, okay? As we learn Reaper, we learn the in-class exercises and assignments that we're gonna have going throughout the 7 weeks. And we have a 2-hour class, more or less. And normally what I would do is I would always lecture for the first hour, and then I would take a break. Then I have an in-class exercise to do, which would take you anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes. And then you'd finish that and be done with it. And then we'd have a lab on Wednesday. The lab assignment would be something that's a bit more rigorous, more intense, and we'd put that have that on Wednesdays. But we're gonna do things a little bit different because of the online nature of the course, and I'm gonna try to decouple the lectures. So I think starting on Thursday, I'm gonna work with you on. I'll do the lecture live today and on Wednesday, partly on Wednesday. But on Thursday, I'm going to be pre-recording the lectures so that you can watch them on your own time. It'll be about 50 minutes on average, but it'll definitely be, this is like a first, so definitely be your responsibility to view the slides, watch it, understand it. If you have to take notes, go ahead and take notes as you need to. But it's going to be stuff will be on the exam, right? We'll have 2 exams, a midterm, if you will, and a final, exam 1 and 2, which are both 15% of your grade. And I usually have multiple choice, some short answers, and then I have a section that has some kind of paragraph answers. I'll say, what is the role of a sound designer in a game company? And you write about that in like a paragraph. And so those are the things I'll talk about in the slides. I'll also have the just the PowerPoints themselves available to you on a Google Drive. I sent out a link a couple days ago, but we'll put together another announcement that has the links to that in the YouTube page, so you have full coverage of all this stuff. So also starting on Thursday, I'm going to split up the class time. I don't want to just cut the class in 2 here, but I have to split up the class time into 2 sections in order for me and Alexis to be able to work with you in a timely manner. Imagine if we were having this 2-hour class and you had to wait, because I have 29 students, you had to wait 100 minutes for one of us to answer a question to get you in our breakout room. It's going to be very challenging. So what I'm going to do is take one half of the class, which will join from 10 to 10:50, and the other half from 11 to 11:50. I will let you know who that is and how we're going to do that. I'll probably not just go, down the student list A through M and then N through Z. I'll probably just either randomize it or just do every other name on the list. So, kind of just not do alphabetical, basically. I will cover the same material in both halves, all right? But I have a better chance of helping you out, and Alexis will have a better chance of helping you out if there are kind of more discrete or fewer people in each section that we can work with, okay? I will assign that time slot to you and send it out before the end of day Tuesday, maybe even tonight, but no later than end of day on Tuesday, okay? And so we'll have a normal lecture today. Wednesday we'll have, I will do some more lecture live, and then we'll have a lab, which is not going to be Reaper, it's just going to be a written exercise that we're going to do together about evaluating soundscapes, okay? And then on Thursday, that's when we'll have the kind of the dual times. You're welcome to stay. If you happen to be in the first one, you want to stay in the second one, you're welcome to stay, but I have to give precedence to the students that are there at that time. This way, instead of having, say, 28, 29 students, there'll be 14, and so that's a lot easier for me to walk around virtually and go through all the different listen to your mixes, critique everybody in a timely manner and help you out, okay? Alexis and I also have office hours, as you saw. So we've got, between the 2 of us, we've got 6 hours of office hours. So in case there's something that you forget to ask or you want to get covered before we go to the next class, you can ask one of us, and we'll be more than happy to help out, okay?